Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Monroe and this is Coach Kenta. Today we're gonna review a session that we did yesterday with the snatch. On Saturdays, we like to go heavy here. We thought it'd be, fun to review what we did well, what we did badly. So yeah, this is pretty much a typical Saturday for us. Yeah, so we're gonna watch the video, give our feedback on what we were doing and kind of react to it. So.
So you're saying you don't like the way
No, I just don't like the double wind up. So I think that if you're going to wind up, that's fine, but I just think that first, wherever you're set, I don't think you should set it again. It looks like you second guess yourself, which I don't love. As soon as my butt goes down,
dude, that was actually really good. Sorry.
It goes forward. But as soon as I pull my butt down,
yeah,
I don't pull it back up.
Agreed.
Because that to me is just it's more like I'm mental about it.
Well, I'm also overthinking. So most people don't know this. I'm trying to fix a lot of things about my snatch. So one of the things I'm trying to fix is keeping my back tight. So if you see my snatch, there's a lot of rip it and hit it, if that makes sense. My hips will rise a lot faster than my chest, which will cause my lower back to break. So that's something that I'm trying to fix. So yes, I'm doing a double wind up because I'm literally trying to feel the back being tight, and then I'm getting loose again, and then trying to brace and get my back tight. I'm not a fan of it. I'm just trying to
So this was another thing that I don't know why you did this.
why did I?
So I don't know. We have this rule where it's in the snatch you start at yellows, and we didn't, this video starts at 205, so we had already kind of warmed up and done all those sets, but always start with yellows in the snatch. And then we went yellow, blue, put the whites on for 225.
Yeah.
And then this man had to do 2 blues instead of...
So I did that on purpose.
Why?
It's not what we normally would do.
Okay.
I put the 2 blues on there because in an Olympic weightlifting competition, the moment it's time to change to a new plate, they change it. Right? So for me in my head, 2 blues, I know what that is. A blue, a yellow, and a white. And we talked about this in a podcast before. It's I think there's some positive in not knowing what's on the bar.
You can't see the end plates?
Sure, right? But then I think I need to now get mentally strong on knowing what the weight is and still need to lift it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a mindset that I'm going back to and being like, hey, I know this is 225. I'm not going to trick myself. It's not 225 anymore.
Correct.
I'm just going to lift it. So it's kind of
So this one, I don't love it. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I jump too much, and sometimes I feel like I don't jump enough. And I feel like that was a situation where I didn't move my feet enough. But when it gets heavier and heavier, I noticed that towards the end of this video, I start jumping back more because I know I have to move my feet. So I feel like I just move them aggressively, and that ends up being back, which isn't the best thing, obviously.
I do think you're extending really, really well now.
For sure.
You used to dive bomb on your bar. There's a lot more extension into your snatches, which I think is really sexy. I don't like this either.
So you set with your hip low first.
But that's because, so
and, that you weren't used for. Yeah, because I think when you set your hip that low to start, it has to come up above your knee. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's also with the stance that I've been doing, I don't know how to tell that. I think there is literally a biomechanical issue with how my levers are that I figured out how to do it at the end of the session, which is really annoying. I had to turn my toes out wider. So like the more I turn my toes out wider, it allowed me to keep my chest up higher and set my hips. So I was trying to recreate what works for me.
That was better.
In a stance that doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
And when I figured out that I just need to change my foot placement, everything kind of fell into place.
This was my first miss.
Yeah.
And so like I think I just jumped back and like I don't know how to fix my issue is not getting my head all the way through. Like I want to do this reach.
No, that is your issue.
Yeah, that is my issue.
You see, no.
Oh, I meant it is my issue.
Definitely.
But
it's so funny that you say that because whenever time you do strict press, whenever time you do heavy push press, whenever you do handstand push up, the moment you get to failure, you do that. You do this thing where you're trying to recruit that muscle.
You're still not happy with it?
No, it's because I know that I know what's gonna stop me from hitting.
Look what you had it on the right way, and then you flipped it around.
Listen, there's no benefit in turning it around. Like what?
Okay, so leave in the comments below. Let me know whether you're numbers out or numbers in, okay? Because I think I missed 255
because of it.
Because of that shit.
Love.
It was one way on the side that I was loading.
That doesn't change the weight though. Like how does that?
Sure. But you were talking about the same thing with like the different
mindset?
colors.
Okay, yes, but that's like.
I think a lot of weightlifting is mindset, and I think that like, I don't know, a lot of it is like the vibes and the.
So if you guys don't know what he means by numbers in, numbers out, on the plates, there's numbers on one side, there's not numbers on the other one. He prefers them all to be facing outwards. I don't think it matters. So that's where you can leave your comment. You agree with Kenta, or agree with Monroe?
Yeah, so that was like, and this is a heavy bar for me, and like, the pull and the catch is the problem. It's like, I know where it's gonna go, but I don't know how to get my head through until I'm like starting to stand it up.
And this one I've definitely missed.
Yeah.
And then one of the reasons why I'm trying to fix my hip thing and keep it lower is so that when I make contact, I still have leg drive. Mm-hmm. Right now, I'm solely depending on the contact to get the bar up, which is not.
Yeah, that's what you're saying at the beginning.
Yeah. So you can see that. That was bad.
Yeah, so after this, like, Kenta literally spent an hour kind of like playing with different positions and stuff. And this was like, I was actually really happy with this because I was able to do this weight twice. And I thought the second one was better.
Ooh, that was better.
The first. But it's still, you can see I'm still doing this.
So how come you're not wearing lifters? Let's go to that. And you can see I changed my lifters, so I have a problem.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the Remolia 3s. I love the 2s. The 3 is a lot more narrow. The 2s, I think, fit better. So you can see I'm going back and forth. I've been lifting with the 3s for some time now, which is why I went back to it. But I think I'm gonna go back to the 2s.
Yeah.
So, okay, so why not lifters? How come you don't?
Because I'm a CrossFitter. I'm a good for nothing CrossFitter. Yeah, because I want to be able to snatch in the shoes that I train in normally.
Yeah, see right here, you can. I can't look at this.
Yeah.
It's 100%. 110% my foot stance.
Yeah. But yeah, he spent a good couple hours like after this fixing that stance and playing with it, turning his feet out. And you know, one thing I told the class that morning was like, and that I really believe in is like, play with your grip, play with your stance. You know, like what feels right today may not feel right in 10 years. You know. And then I missed this one. It's just, see, that I literally missed just because of my head. So that was the video. If you want to talk about your stance a little bit more,
sure.
Like, what did you do after that session? Because you clearly like weren't super thrilled with the way you were going.
So, for most of you guys, I competed in a weight class of 89. And I think I maximize my potential in my technique, meaning that my technique is garbage, but I got the most I can get out of it with my snatch technique. So I had to make a hard decision as nationals is coming up, that I need to make a decision on how to go back to the basics a little bit and work on properly getting there, because I feel like I just can't build off what I have. So one of the things that I identified was I can't keep my hips down long enough in the pull.
Through the first pull.
Right? And the thing that really, something that I've been thinking about over and over again is I'm thinking pulling the bar rather than squatting the bar up. So I thought about that for a second, and then I was like, why don't I change my stance to kind of how I normally would squat? So if you watch my back squat, my front squat, I do actually a fantastic job of keeping my lower back tight and bracing. And it's just when I go into the snatch, I don't. So what I did is I turned my foot was normally like this, and the knees were tracking the toes. I actually turned it out wider. And what it did is allow me to engage my hips at the start before I do my setup, and then really lower down by pushing my knees forward and then hinging and leaning over the bar. And what it actually does really well for me is I know how to get to that position normally, but the moment I pull off the floor, I can't use my legs because of how my legs are placed.
Right.
Now that my legs are turned, I feel that I can use my glutes and my hamstrings almost kind of, like, I hate to use this analogy, but it's like a frog, right? Like, you know how a frog's legs look? They're bent that way because they can really push and drive their legs. So I'm turning my toes to almost recreate that same sensation, and it's crazy because it feels 10 times better. I think it looks awful at the very beginning, and I'll tell you why. But when I squatted afterwards, I did some pause front squats in the same stance. Lower back did not tighten up at all, meaning that I didn't get any soreness in my lower back. I walked all day with my ass on fire. And I'm sitting there like, I feel like I've been squatting incorrectly my entire life. You know, there's a time and place for a lot of people to learn, hey, this is what's best for me, and having to take a step back so you can take a leap forward.
Yep, 2 steps back, 1 step forward for sure.
Yeah.
And I think it takes a lot of maturity as an athlete to be able to do that. You know, I had to do the same thing with my squat, you know, and you have to kind of be humble and recognize that what got you to where you are today is not necessarily what's going to get you to where you want to be tomorrow. Just because you can snatch 275 in a certain way doesn't mean that you're going to be able to snatch 300 doing that.
Yeah.
And you may have to learn something new and grow and fail and struggle in order to learn the things about your body and about the lift and about the sport that you need to be successful. So thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, if you have any comments, please leave them down in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel for more just like this, and we'll see you soon.